Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Wade's World. Today's a really cool episode. I've wanted to do this for a while. I got some new things in for the Native Watercraft Titan and I think that you're going to like them. This is going to act as a 6-month review / ultimate upgrades video. I'm going to go over a few things from previous videos that I've kind of had some more experience with now that I didn't have when I did those videos originally. Hopefully this will help you out. I'm going to try to do this in one take, so if I flubber on video, so be it. Okay, so as you can see here, this is not the seat that came in the Native Titan. It's the first thing I'm sure that you're going to notice. I decided I wanted to do away with the seat that makes all the noise. That is the noisiest seat on the planet, and I wanted something that was really cool. So I decided to throw in a really nice bass boat seat on this Titan. It sits a little bit higher than the regular seat. The regular seat sits at about 11 inches. This one sits at about 15 and a half, maybe 16. So it's about a 5-inch difference in height. So I'm not sure how the stability is going to be. The Titan's an extremely stable boat. I stand in it all the time. I don't think the issue is going to be a big deal with stability. But what I really like down here is this swivel. So this is not just a standard mount. It's not just locked in place. This is actually a swivel so I can actually turn my seat while I'm on the water, and then whatever position I'm in, I can just lock it in place. But I also have the ability to raise it another 5 inches. So going from a seated position to a standing position, this is going to make it so much easier. And if you guys fish bass boats, sitting up a little higher and looking down on your fishing is a much better way to cast, be able to see the fish. I'm really excited to get to use this. So what I did is I took this is a piece of it's a cutting board, essentially. I got it from Amazon. It was about $45, $40. It's a 1-inch thick, high density polyethylene cutting board. It's 18 inches by 24 inches, so it fits over the tracks in the groove here. I just took and drilled a new hole. Had to modify the original screws that go in here so they'll go a little bit longer. And now this seat is adjustable forward and back, and I'm really excited to see this, to get to the water and use this. I tried to go to the water today, but it seems like everything near my house is absolutely locked down. Not sure why. I think maybe Hurricane Harvey has messed up a lot of things, but everything is gated. They blocked all the access to the river that I had, so I'll have to go out and do a buoyancy video as soon as I can get to some water, hopefully maybe on Lake Conroe in the next week. So a couple other things that I did that are really I think they were necessary. Here in the back, what looks like a toilet bowl seat is it's a new thing that I came up with. I was getting a tremendous amount of water on the deck, and I'd say tremendous. I was getting gallons of water on the deck, and at first I thought it was coming from the scupper plugs down here. So I actually put a seal on around here. I could pull them out again, but right now no water can come in through my scupper plugs. And so I found out after I was on the water and I was going really quick, I turned around and I could see water pouring in through my my rudder housing under here. So screw that. There's no reason I need to get to the top of that unless I'm going to be changing the rudder out. So I just took some closed cell foam, cut a ring out, and then I had a piece of plastic from something else. I don't even remember what it was for. I trimmed it out to fit on top as a cap. I used some marine goop and I sealed it so no water can come through the rudder assembly and get on the deck. And I mean, it was a ton of water. My feet always stayed wet, and it was coming in through the hatch. And this is not the native hatch that came with the Titan. The native hatch was really a poorly made hatch. It had a leaking issue. It was not sealed really well. So I ended up taking it out. It actually even had a crack in it that I couldn't see, but the water was pouring into the deck, and it was seeping right straight in through the hatch into the hull. So I went on a fishing trip a while back, and I probably took on 75 to 100 gallons of water inside the hull through the stupid scupper plug and the back hatch. So I don't use this hatch anyway, but I do have some access now that's not gonna drown me. This is the hatch for a Hobie. I got this from Austin Canoe and Kayak. It fit in the same hole. It was really kind of an easy thing to do. I did use the marine goop on every layer of this and kind of sandwich it together, so no water is going to come around this hatch again. So I've got the access that I didn't have before. I mean, that I had before, but I don't have the leaking issue anymore. So new hatch, covered up the rudder, whatever we call this, the rudder area. Let's see, what else have I done? Oh yeah, Boondocks. So on the Native Titan, the Boondocks it's an absolute necessity. I mean, you're not going to be able to pick this kayak up, and you're unlikely you're going to drag it very far. So most people have a Boondocks on here. Super easy to install. It goes in the tracks. You can literally install the Boondocks on a Native Titan in 5 minutes. I mean, it's a super easy install. But what I found that if you leave the kayak on the wheels on the ground too long, those wheels that came on the Boondocks will actually get a flat spot. So it's a lot of weight on those. So these are called Tugs. I also got these from Austin Canoe and Kayak. I believe they were about $50. And this is a hard ring with a rubber outside, but you don't have the give that the original Boondocks wheels had. And now that I've used this, I like them a whole lot more. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to pull through sand everywhere I'm going, because those wheels are, kind of crushing in. So the wheels aren't working against me. So get a pair of those if you ever have problems pulling your kayak. Another problem I had was where the seat was at originally. The Boondocks landing gear was actually much farther back. It was a foot and a half farther back. And it's because that's right where the back of the seat was. That's as far as you could go forward. Well, the coolest thing I did was when I put this seat on right here, it gave me the ability to move this farther forward. I had to drill new holes in the mount here. So these are the original mounting holes for the Boondocks, but I drilled the holes a good inch and a half back, which let me move this out wider. And now the wheels don't rub on the side of the Titan. So if you have a Titan and there's an issue with mounting the wheels in here, and you push these all the way in, your wheels are rubbing on the side of your kayak, which it's another drag, and it's working against you. So everything that I did on the Titan with the Boondocks was working against me. I'm a big guy, but I could not drag this kayak up a boat launch to save my life. And I'm a big guy, and this thing, I couldn't do it. I mean, I literally just ended up leaving it in the water, grabbing my trailer, backing my trailer all the way down, and treating it like it's a boat. So I know it's a big kayak, but you still want the ability to pull it off, walk it down to the water somewhere, put it in where a lot of people can't put boats in. So moving these farther forward made a big difference. And you can do this with the old seat, but what you have to do is have to take the bar off. This will go in the middle of the other seat. It actually will go in front of the back post of the old seat, and you can bring it all the way to the edge of your track here. You still have to drill the holes out wider here to bring these farther out. The bar won't work for it anymore. The bar is not nearly long enough. Even the extended bar that they make for this thing is not long enough. I just went and got a piece of tubing from Home Depot. It cost me $6 or something, and I cut it to fit. And now when my wheels push all the way in, it's a perfect length, and my wheels fit exactly where they're supposed to go. So if it rusts, who cares? It gets $6 and go buy another one. So those are some pretty big upgrades. Preventing water from getting in is pretty essential. And I cannot wait to get to use this seat. I know it's a little bit high, but man, it's going to be a whole lot more comfortable on those long days when I'm fishing tournaments and it's an 8-hour grind on the lake. And I want to be able to walk the next week. So sometimes that's not always the case. Another thing I did, if you've seen some other videos, the sloshing sound from the Native was always an issue. They came out with a new prop for this. They kind of clubbed the ends of it. They're shorter. They kept prevented the cavitation, the slurping sound. But so what I kind of did was I wanted my old prop back, because I think that the old prop was a little more efficient. So what I did is I took the lid that goes over the propel housing here, and I took a piece of closed cell foam block. I used the marine goop, and I cut it to fit so it actually fits in here like a glove, like that. So technically I don't even need the bungee cords anymore. They're just an extra level of safety. But what this does is when the drive is in place, there's a plate that's on that drive. This actually sits down all the way to that plate, which is at the water line. There's no more air in that gap there anymore, therefore no more sloshing and slurping. I noticed it a lot whenever I use the trolling motor and I'm going 5-6 miles an hour sometimes, and it's just super noisy, that water just sloshing and turning in there. So I wanted to get rid of that sound. Hopefully this is going to do it. I can't believe there's a whole lot of air in there that would create a whole lot of sound, but small little things like that make your day on the water a lot more enjoyable. And 2 more little small things that I did. If you can see the way that my bungees are on this front hatch anymore, I don't have this crisscross design like it came from the manufacturer. What I found was when you undid the latch on the front and you tried to pull it up, the cross in the back kept you from pulling it up, and you end up having to pull it all the way out, and it was a big pain in the butt. So I cut most of it off. I put 1 strand across here, and I used their same hook. See if I can do this with one hand. I use their same hook here, but it's just 1 strand. And now whenever I take that off, I have access to everything, and I don't have to worry about trying to pull it out from the front underneath that front crisscross. Also took an extra little piece, mounted it to the front little track piece here, bungee here, keeps it from flying off if it's going down the road. So it's a little more simple design than Native did. See if I can put it back on with one hand. There we go. So does the same thing that it came from Native with, but it keeps it snug down, and it's a lot easier to take on and off. And if you get on like me, on and off a lot, it's really a pain in the butt. And last but not least, this handle here, this vertical handle this way, it's kind of a pain in the butt when it comes to dragging the kayak. Once again, it's a heavy kayak, and when I grab it like this and I try to pull the kayak, it really kills my wrist. So more of a natural position would be more of a horizontal. I'm not sure why they went with the vertical design. This would be more of a natural pull. So I just took a piece of the Boondocks bar that was I don't know, extension piece that was left over. I don't know what it was for, but I just had it laying around. Threw a cord through it, just went straight through the little hole there on the end, and I gave myself an extra little handle, so now I can actually pull it horizontally and not vertically, and really put a strain on my wrist. A little tiny thing like that makes a big difference when you're on the water, or when you're trying to get to the water. So those are some pretty big upgrades. It's going to make your day on the water a lot more convenient. I don't know that you have to go out and drop $300 on a seat and a pedestal, but if you got it, why not try it? I'm hoping again that the buoyancy is not going to be too bad. It's a super stable kayak. If the buoyancy is bad, if I'm in rough waves, I'll probably just scoot this one to the back and put the old seat back on. You can swap them out in 2 minutes. And it gave me the ability to actually put the original seat in the back, and I can carry a passenger with me without having to drop $600 or $700 or whatever the seat costs from Native. So anyway, that is the 2017 upgrade video and review. I love the Native Titan. It is a big, super stable kayak. It handles fantastic. It turns on a dime, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But there's a couple small things that make it even better. So take it for what you will, and if you've got some cool ideas, shoot them to me. I'd love to put them on video and get this out there for people to see. If you haven't seen my previous videos, subscribe to the channel, go back, look at some of those videos, and they'll give you some other ideas on things that I did. I know that straight from the manufacturer that were really important, like adding a 6-inch hatch in the back that gave me access to the back of the kayak. There's literally, unless I've got a 6-foot arm, this hatch right here does literally nothing. Now I've got batteries in the back here for my twin power poles when I have them on, and I installed electrical outlets, things like that you couldn't have done before. Absolutely, there's no way to do it without a back hatch. Put a 6-inch hatch on there and your life will be a whole lot easier. That's it, one take video. I hope you like it. The next video I'll actually do from the water, so we can see how much the height on the seat makes a difference, in the performance of the kayak. See if it makes us unstable. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the water soon. Bye. Oh yeah, by the way, I got a new badass truck. Love my Toyota Tundra.